And hey, everybody. Hey, how are you guys doing? Welcome. Oh my God, it is so great to be here on the 1099 CRNA success community. Wow. I mean, I created this group about a year and a half ago, and it has just been my pleasure to see CRNAs come together and network in the most friendly fashion I have seen in any other Facebook group. And, part of this, starting this group, was just to see, are people interested in learning about being in business for themselves? And resoundingly, the answer is yes. So I am really thrilled and excited to bring you the education that I have for you. I'm inviting anyone in who's got our Facebook, our Zoom link. Please come on in and join me, join all of us. The folks with the Zoom link are in the 1099 CRNA Freedom Masterclass, which I brought to you guys in order to just give CRNAs the tools that they need to elevate them to that next level so that you can set your own schedule, work where you want to, just have that internal freedom, that feeling where you just feel so free of politics, so free of the gaslighting, so that it's only about what you and your family need. So in that same feeling, that same vein, people in my 1099 Masterclass kept asking for QuickBooks. And so today I am so excited to bring to you guys Megan Connor, Dr. Megan Connor, who is a, PhD, CRNA, who has a passion for QuickBooks. And I just had to have her join me in the 1099 Success Academy. So I just want to say hello to Dr. Megan Connor. Megan, are you out there?
Hey, Alicia, how are you today?
Hey, I'm great. How are you doing?
Good,
so good to see you. Megan is recovering from an injury she sustained in a motor vehicle accident. So I got to say, between Megan and I, we can really appreciate our life, and we want to give, we have a passion to teach. So we want to give what we know to help our CRNA cohorts. We want to elevate our profession. So welcome, Megan. I thought what I would do is just go ahead and run through a few slides that I put together. So Megan, please join me in that. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Megan. How did you get into this QuickBooks thing?
I've been 1099 for about 8 years now, maybe 10. It's been a long time. And when I started out, there was no really QuickBooks help class. There was even barely, like now you can chat with somebody on QuickBooks when you sign up. But when I started, you really had to either buy the disc or not. Like that's how it was back then. They didn't even have QuickBooks online.
Right.
And so mostly I had to figure it out on my own.
Which is that's really stressful, It
is, because you live in fear that you're going to click the wrong thing. Right. And you're going to mess it up permanently, and your accountant's not going to know for the rest of the year. And it's terrifying.
It is. But QuickBooks is, even with that fear, when you don't even know, you kind of have to have QuickBooks because CPAs tend to use that. They tend to sign on to QuickBooks to be your backup, correct?
Yes. So you can set it so that your accountant can view your QuickBooks, and they can go in and make changes or edits to it, or just view it however you set it up. But that's how they'll run the reports for you to file your annual taxes and tax forms and stuff.
So when you're teaching QuickBooks, because, Megan and I put a class together, and when Megan teaches QuickBooks, I'm just wondering, Megan, can you actually also go on to, I know you mentor, whoever takes our QuickBooks class gets 1.5 hours, right, Megan, of mentorship?
Yes.
And so can you go onto their QuickBooks and see with them what's going on, or how does that work?
Usually I set it up and so that we meet via Zoom.
Okay.
And I have them share their screen with me, and I just tell them where to click,
Ah,
because they'll learn more if they do the clicking themselves and remember it than if I were to like log into their QuickBooks and do it for them. Because the goal is not for me to do it for them, is to teach
right.
them to do it themselves.
Exactly. So, being a 1099 CRNA, what do you think that lends to your ability to teach other CRNAs about QuickBooks?
Well, being 1099, there's a lot of variations in that. Some people use it full time, they work all the time, and some people it's more of a part-time thing. So being that I've done QuickBooks for 8 years, and you can set up your QuickBooks and your QuickBooks payroll to vary based on how much 1099 you work. So
Ah,
being able to do it yourself means you can change based on your own needs, whether you work more this month or less this month, things like that. I've heard some CRNAs have their accountants do it, and I'm not saying that's wrong, but the accountants won't change based on how much they work. So they won't edit their payroll monthly, and people, if they're not working as much and they're enjoying the flexibility and the lifestyle that 1099 offers, then you really need to be able to make your payroll as flexible as the money coming in,
that
right?
makes total sense. I mean, the goal as a 1099 CRNA is control over our
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle because we are in so much demand. The work, once you become 1099, just starts snowballing, and you wish you could clone
Yes.
yourself. And a
Yes.
lot of people end up hiring their friends to help with certain jobs and that kind of thing. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
but it's really nice that you can, like you say, just meld, put your hands on Facebook and form it to fit your schedule. And who better to do this, to help other CRNAs do this, than it almost has to be a CRNA teaching this.
Yeah. I think that was the best part of me learning it on my own, because I had an accountant too, but I didn't have her all the time. And honestly, I don't think like an accountant. I think like a CRNA.
Right.
So I really think it does better when I'm teaching other people that they think like I do usually, like
Absolutely.
the
And I
same
want to throw
mindset.
in there really quick, you guys. I'm about to open up these slides, and Megan is going to stay with me for this. And we're going to just kind of tell you about our class and what you can expect, and what it is like, what is the goal of it, and what you can get out of it. But at the very end, we're going to give you a password. So if you can give us 5 more minutes, at the end, you're going to get a password that is going to discount your class 20%. We have 3 different types of classes. We're going to tell you about each one of those, and you get 20% off of each one of those classes. So I'm going to go ahead and, is that okay with you, Megan?
Yep, go
I'll go
ahead.
ahead and jump into these slides. Okay, let me do that. Y'all just bear with me for a second. Oh, wow. I have several screens open, so y'all just give me a second so I can locate that one screen. Oh, come on, Zoom. 1 second. There we go. Okay, there it is. All right, so let me quickly share all the inside scoop about this amazing course, because I got to tell you guys, I'm not exaggerating. This course actually changed my world, because I had taught this information and I had relied on CPAs and been very frustrated with CPAs not getting my stuff done when I needed it done. And so I was just so excited when Megan taught this class live. I recorded it. We put it all together. We made it. She put together some tests. I applied to the AANA. We got 6 Class ACE credits for this. And it is because this is practice management. Megan, could you tell me, are you seeing the little slide or the great big slide?
I see one little slide.
One little slide. Let's switch that out. Okay, now are you seeing the big one?
Much bigger, yes.
Bigger, yeah. I'm afraid it's not that big, and I think it's because my screen is rotated kind of funny. So we're just going to have to go with that. Okay, fantastic. So basically, the course is called QuickBooks for 1099 CRNA Success. And this is an introduction. We are promoting this class because today is the actual release date of our class. And the reason that this master class is different, and it really is a master class, Megan dives deep into how a 1099 CRNA really needs to manage their QuickBooks in order to achieve lifestyle freedom. Not just lifestyle freedom, but also financial control of your life. Because as a 1099 CRNA, like Megan was just saying, we have to move with the flow of our work. If we decide to work more, work less, opportunities show up. So we may need to make some changes, even if we hire other CRNAs to work with us. You know, QuickBooks is capable of producing 1099s for your coworkers. If you should have them come and work a contract with you. So there's so much to know. And that's why this class is different. Maybe you've tried setting up your own bookkeeping before and you got lost in the weeds, you know, or you got really bored. Well, interacting with another CRNA and the mental exchange of energy during a Zoom conference, that's why we included 1.5 hours of one-on-one Zoom mentorship with Megan. And I believe, Megan, you divide that up into 3 30-minute sessions. Is that correct?
And 3 30-minute sessions. So
Okay.
what I found is most people that have done this kind of in our beta phase, they do 30 minutes at a time. And usually at the end of 30 minutes, they realize they need to look up some other information. Their state business ID number, they're missing a piece. And then we come back 30 minutes, you know, in another session after they've got the pieces and we can finish it. But if you're overly prepared, we can do 1.5 hours at one time. It's really whatever works for you. But what I have found is most people like 30 minutes and then they go and do a bunch of stuff I've suggested or find the information. And then we do another section 30 minutes later.
I love that. I love that. And then the second point I wanted to make is that it is very stressful doing your own bookkeeping when you don't have somebody who's done it before, a mentor, to say, yeah, that looks right, you know, and to also help bounce around what the final taxation will be. Like for estimated taxes, it's very clear, right? Megan, you help set up payroll. You teach people how to set up payroll, correct?
Yes, and it'll calculate your taxes
Gotcha.
based on your income. But we know that as CRNAs, we always end up somehow magically owing more in taxes than we've sent in. And it's funny because I have a way I calculate it, and Alicia has a way she calculates it. And we happened to be on the phone both calculating quarterly taxes the other day. And well, our difference was what, like $100 or $200?
Right.
It was crazy how close they were, but we have different ways of coming up with it.
Such different ways because, you know, I've been a 1099 CRNA now 22 years. And so I developed kind of a mathematical derivation of how to get that number. Now, Megan utilizes the actual method that the IRS intends for individuals to use, you know. So leave it to me to try to find a shortcut, but I was just tickled pink when we had the same number. That was so funny. So that was so much fun. Megan hung out with me while I filed my EFTPS because I hadn't done it in a few years. I've been letting others do it, but doing it myself, I felt so much better. And having a mentor with me did definitely help. So I have to say mentorship is really where it's at. Now, if you're already taking the 1099 Freedom Masterclass, you know, you can contact me at any time. And now, you know, I've gotten refreshed on EFTPS, so don't hesitate to get in touch with me and I'll be glad so that you can make those extra estimated payments if you're not rolling your estimated tax payments into your payroll. And that is such an elegant method that Megan teaches. So anyway, if you really want to understand the payroll process and you don't want the frustrating of waiting and wondering what your CPA is doing, I think Megan really summed it up really well a minute ago when she was talking about, you know, the CPA doesn't know how much or how little you're working or how your pay has changed. So So if you're really serious about this, actually, I know I wrote 15 minutes here. This won't take 15 minutes, just a few minutes. Get rid of your distractions just for a very short few more minutes, because I truly believe that the best way for you to get a simpler financial life is through mentorship, membership, and education from someone who's been there. And so Megan has done this for years. I have worked 1099 for years and now producing classes. So I'm so happy to bring her to the stage to teach you guys what she knows. Because, you know, it's so funny. I mean, I was very afraid of my own bookkeeping to the point that I hadn't done it in a few years. So I was hiring a bookkeeper and, you know, and then I was ready to hire somebody to do my payroll. But then after talking to Megan, I've tried to figure out, you know what, I want it to be the easiest for me. And, you know, that's why I decided I really needed Megan. I needed Megan to help put my business knowledge that I teach in the 1099 Freedom Masterclass together with her bookkeeping knowledge, also as a 1099 CRNA. And so, you know, I have gone through quite a lot of struggles with my CPA. I felt like I couldn't really understand what my CPA was talking about. I didn't understand where their numbers came from. And I knew that I needed to get back to doing my own bookkeeping to really understand what was going on with my financial situation. So that's when Megan and I came together. And basically, we're two 1099 CRNAs, but instead of going into work all the time, what we are doing now is taking some of that very valuable knowledge and spreading it throughout the CRNA community across the nation and in Guam and Puerto Rico, so that CRNAs nationally can grow in strength. Because when you're in charge of your own finances, listen, you develop a camaraderie with these high earning surgeons that we're working with, especially out in the office-based environment, but even in the hospitals, and you grow a respect from them that you can't get any other way. It improves your business sense. So if you think about the cost of having Megan and I bring you this 6 CE Class A course, it's basically ends up to be 9.5 hours of educational time from 2 1099 CRNAs. Plus, we're doing bi-monthly Q&As is what we're beginning with this launch. And so every other week, you'll be able to come when you join the class, and we can talk through some of the, you know, trials, tribulations, learning opportunities that you may come along with. So the hour and a half of mentorship is included. We also have an ambassador price when you join. We put you into the Freedom QuickBooks group, and you are able to click there and buy the QuickBooks for a reduced price. So typically the value of this class is about a little over $2,000. Also, you'll get a year membership to the group. So we're definitely not charging $2,000. In fact, we're charging just a fraction of that for this course. But, you know, we were like, hey, what do we want to do? Do we want to be able to continue to take our time to teach this course? Or do we want to just put it out there and not interact? Well, we want to interact with you. We want to help you one-on-one. And so that's why we chose our price structure. I'm going to share that with you in a second. I was so fortunate to find Megan. She was always making commentary on different Facebook groups. And so, you know, I got a lot of relief when I took her course. We did this in February as a live beta course. And afterwards, I have a handle like I have never had on my own payroll and my estimated taxes and how the whole QuickBooks thing's working and how categorization really can be optimized. I had always used Quicken. QuickBooks is so much better. So if you're ready, go ahead.
And you want to be able to track those business expenses, because if you are an S Corp, the goal is to decrease your profit down so you don't have to pay as much tax on the profit. And you can't do that adequately unless you're categorizing your expenses properly.
Right,
and
you've got to categorize it yourself, right?
Yes. And well, QuickBooks kind of does it for you if you set it up right. But yeah, you have to double check it. But the goal is to have your business expenses and to keep up with that. And I'm not sure how much, I'm sure you as a CRNA would do much better keeping up with each and every business expense than an accountant who's managing hundreds of other accounts each month. They're not going to
100%.
be they're not going to be all over it to get every single business expense that's coming in that you're entering. And I
Absolutely.
guarantee you that if they're just running your payroll and running your QuickBooks, you're paying a lot in profit taxes that you could easily reduce if you tracked your own business expenses. And I've heard
Absolutely.
in the few CRNAs that I've interacted one-on-one, face-to-face where I work at different places, I've heard a whole bunch of stories where one girl asked an accountant to set up her payroll. It took him a whole year before he finished setting up her stuff. I
Right.
mean, that's crazy. I could have set it up for her in 20 minutes. She could have taken
Exactly.
the class and set it up herself in 40 at the
Right.
most.
And
But
then to me, the confidence of understanding it is huge. You know, that's worth so much. So yeah, exactly. So I'm going to just jump on ahead. So this is what I'm saying. If you guys who are listening and who are a part of this, if you guys are interested and would like more information, if you are ready to take control of your business finances, learn QuickBooks and Payroll, and take an independent study online class, get mentorship one-on-one for an hour and a half, and also have membership into an exclusive group where Megan and I are active, you know, to provide you with Q&As every other week, then type yes. So, you know, what we're offering is a program called QuickBooks for 1099 CRNA Masterclass. It's basically a shortcut for you, but it's also empowering. So you can do all of this yourself. You don't have to pay other people. And you'll actually do, like Megan said, a much better job because you can 100% guarantee that nobody can categorize your expenses like you can. You know, so you don't ever have to worry that they were done correct. You'll have these skills. They will be skills for life. So now you don't ever have to worry about trying to learn this all yourself. That's just no fun. So our goal is to make it fun, to embrace our cohort 1099 CRNAs and give you guys mentorship. So, so I'm going to go ahead and just tell you I've only harvested a couple of testimonials. And so this is what other people have said about our QuickBooks course. And I'm very honored that CRNAs were wanting to take the live beta version. And so that we can offer this to you guys now as an online course at your convenience. So right now I'm going to give you the password for the coupon code. Okay. The password is QuickBooks. So that is, if you would like to take this class, if you would personal message me and say the password is QuickBooks, then I will send you a link to a 20% off coupon code in order that you can take this class for even cheaper than it actually is. At this point, I just wanted to run through the prices that we have for this class. So I am going to stop sharing and just say thank you guys for joining today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the link to our QuickBooks course, and I'm putting it right below this. I'm putting it right in the comment field so you can click on it. There we go. And so we have 3 levels of this course. One level is $695. Today you get 20% off of that. And that gives you an hour and a half with Megan, a year membership, every other week Q&A, membership to the Facebook group. That to me is a really good deal. That's $697, but that is for the people who have already taken the 1099 Freedom Masterclass. If you've never taken the 1099 Freedom Masterclass, it's $897. So you get the same thing for that, but you're going to get 20% off of that today. I'm going to let the promo code live for 2 days so that y'all have time to think about this. To get a lifetime of freedom, the value of this is $2,000. If you just look at it in CRNA time alone, besides the energy and the love we have for you guys. And also have a bundle where you can purchase the bundled QuickBooks as well as the Freedom Masterclass. If you're ready to optimize your 1099 and you also want to learn about how to do the accountable plan and you want to learn how to do your own marketing, promote yourself, find the jobs that are out there because they are not advertised like W-2 jobs. So if you want to finally take the Freedom Masterclass and this together, today you're going to get it at an exceptionally low rate. So if you click on that link to take the QuickBooks class, you will see the links depending on if you've ever been a 1099 Freedom Masterclass student or not, or if you want to take the bundle, and then personal message me for the code, and I will go ahead and give you that 20% off code. So thank you guys. And now I thought, Megan, maybe what we would do is take questions for those who have actually joined us today. Would that be okay?
That sounds great.
Okay. So, hey, everybody, I want to thank you guys for joining us here on the Zoom. I know you guys are Freedom Masterclass enrollees, and I thank you guys for honoring me by showing up today to the QuickBooks portion. So just wanted to chat with anybody and see how is it going with your 1099 Freedom Masterclass. And if any of you guys have actually taken the QuickBooks portion, the live QuickBooks portion. And if you can't come live, a lot of people watch this while they're at work, which is okay, because you know how it is. You're kind of doing a case and you can't really, so that is quite okay. I did want to say something really quick to Megan about, I'm curious about the QuickBooks on the phone. Like if I'm in the middle of, say, a heart and we're on bypass, can I categorize my QuickBooks on the phone? Can I work on that?
They have a QuickBooks app, so just like an app interface, and you can pretty much do almost everything that you can do on your computer on the app. I mean, it looks a little different, you know, because your screen's smaller.
Sure.
But yeah, I can pay my monthly taxes on while I'm at work, or I can
exactly.
Enter your payroll, whatever. So yes, you can. Mostly I find myself, oh crap, I got to pay taxes today. It's just like 3 clicks on QuickBooks, but yes, I can do it from my phone. That's
great. So is that something that do you show people on Zoom? Is that something you're going to be doing, or are we going to do that on a Q&A?
I think we could probably do it on a Q&A.
Okay. That'd be fun.
So I have QuickBooks on my phone, and I probably could show people how to do that on a Q&A. Yeah, but yes, it looks very similar to the online platform.
Right.
But once you're familiar with how to pay taxes on the online, it's very simple for you to log in and pay your taxes.
I love that. Thank you so much for joining me today, Megan, and joining me in general as an educator.
Well, I hear stories of people, other CRNAs who are trying to get somebody else to do their QuickBooks. And they always have more concerns when other people do their QuickBooks than I feel like I have, because I do them myself. And so when I talk to them, I'm like, why don't you do it yourself? And it's because they didn't know how, or they don't know where to start. And one CRNA, she wanted to get her QuickBooks back and change it, and her accountant wouldn't give it to her. So he had all her bookkeeping and would not give it back to her because she had made him the primary administrator of her QuickBooks. And I'm not sure, I hadn't seen her in a couple of months to ask her whatever happened with that. But you should never have to get your bookkeeping back. You should have it. You should be in control of it.
Right.
And
I think this course empowers people to be in control
absolutely.
and it simplifies, it gets rid of all the anxiety, for their financial world.
Yes, it makes it so that you would totally feel comfortable doing this and managing your whole business. And then we as CRNAs have nice income. So you're going to be comfortable managing all that income in your QuickBooks and being in control of it and where it goes and how it works. And you'll feel much better about your finances and what you can do because you'll have a better idea of how the money comes, goes, your taxes, things like that.
That's huge. And I think it's a nice bonus that the AANA recognized that 1099 CRNAs, we are the stepping off point for entrepreneurs that develop CRNA groups and that also serve office-based type CRNA, office-based type surgeries. So, they gave us 6 Class A CE credits for this course in practice management. And I'm like, wow, that is some kind of fantastic recognition. So
yes,
go team, Megan. That was great.
I would have loved to have 6 CEs to figure out QuickBooks and a few.
Me too. I love
instead
it.
of like figuring out over 8 years.
And then it's so nice, when you talk to people, I don't know what it is. It just cements your knowledge. Unlike reading or Googling, there's always questions, but when you're talking to somebody who knows what they're doing, it just helps.
And I still learn so much from other people. I always get questions that I may not know the answers to that I have to go and find the answer to. And that makes me learn even more about it and things. Just because I'm from a different state than maybe they're in, I'm like, oh, let me figure out how we could do that and what we're going to do about it. And I learn something every time I talk to somebody, even if it's not about QuickBooks, it's about 1099 or just the shared knowledge of getting together with people.
And especially to get together with CRNAs and speak like this from all over the country. It's just been phenomenal. So
I enjoy being a part of your community.
I'm so glad. I'm just so glad we were able to get together. It's just been great. All right, guys. Well, we look forward to seeing you guys on Zoom and in the the QuickBooks for 1099 CRNAs Freedom Masterclass. And then if you want to take the bundle, you can. So y'all have the link. If you would like the code, personal message me. I'll send you that and you'll get 20% off. And that's today and tomorrow. All right. Take care, everybody.
Good
Great to see you, Megan.
Bye.
Bye.